gonna go live.
Sounds good.
Hopefully sound is working.
Good luck.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another Sunday evening with the CGN crew. We of course are here to hobby and chat and hang out and do all of those fun things that we love doing. But this isn't just about us. We hope that it inspires you as well to get to your hobbying. And if you want to share what you're hobbying live with us, and maybe even we'll put it up during the live stream, you can do that by going to our Discord, and we'll show what you're working on. Otherwise, just hang out and enjoy. We do have a special guest with us tonight. Um, that is Mike from Dragonfall.
Hey
What's up,
guys.
Mike?
Hey Josh. Hey Aaron. Good to be with you guys.
Good to see you.
Good to
Glad
be-
you could come with your axe. What is it? Flex in the background.
Yeah, man.
It's definitely in the picture now.
Of course, we are also joined by Josh and Sean, who is coming into the room right now. And as always, Mike, I don't know if you know the rules. If you're hobbying, which you don't have to, but you should be, but you don't have to, you have to tell us what you're working on. I will go first since I have it up on the screen. I'm continuing to work on my McFarlane Necrons. I am finalizing my scheme so that I can batch paint the 8 remaining models for my entire kill team. What's it called? Warband? Warband. There we go. Kill team
Warband.
Warband. Two fire teams. I got the warriors in front of me. I got one that I've been working on, one that is untouched. Unfortunately, I slept hardcore last night apparently and woke up with a neck ache. So we'll see how much I actually get done since looking down hurts. Josh, what are you working on?
I'm working on pie plates. I'm making a whole bunch of giant McFarlane size bases. So that's what I'll be
Size of
doing
those?
today.
How many
I've got
millimeters?
my pre-cooked Scopy and my bases, and we're gonna just go to town, see what we can get done.
And Sean, what are you working on?
Well, the first thing I want to know is what millimeter size are those bases you're going to be making, Josh?
120.
120. I think right around 120. They're actually 4.7, 4.69 inches.
I think you have a little bit of flexibility, so that's great.
Yeah.
No, I have a bunch of intercessors I'm going to build. If I get to them, I'm going to build some terminators as well. If somehow magically I get a ton of stuff done in progress, I also have some corn berserkers that I'm actually going to be converting out of some
What?
third-party pieces. Do you think that's cool? Should I start with those?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that
for
more
sure.
fun than watching me
Berserkers?
build
Come on.
intercessors?
For sure.
Okay. Well, I guess that's what we're doing. We're building corn berserkers tonight out of new Space Marines.
And Mike, are you working on stuff? Or are you just hanging out?
I'm just hanging out because mine is a little bit more involved, guys. So I just got my gaming room up and running. That's where I am now, and so now I have to get everything operational and out of boxes so I can actually play. So if you can imagine this entire room that I'm in right now being like a cave with totally unfinished, and needing to move everything out of the basement so it could get finished. So all my
Oh yeah.
all my stuff is in boxes, so I just got to get my armies ready to play now.
I hear you. But you are also putting together something else, which is why you are here.
That's true.
What is your real project?
Yeah, the real project is we're going on year 7 for Dragonfall. So
Wait,
That is awesome.
Year 7?
yeah, believe it or if you count the virtual year that we had last year, which we do.
Yeah,
Of course.
So yeah, year 7 of Dragonfall, and very exciting stuff. So we got a new venue that we're at this year. We've moved a little bit further north of the border into Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. We're staying at the beautiful Grand Geneva Hotel, which if you're familiar with Gary Con, Gary Gygax's son Luke throws that convention up there at the same venue in the spring. And
But,
go ahead.
Is the Grand Geneva the one that used to be the Playboy Mansion?
It is. It's not the Playboy Mansion, Aaron, but
Or the Playboy Hotel or whatever, yeah.
Playboy Club, yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it used to be the Playboy Club. Yeah.
Huh.
Yes.
How far away is it from like the lake?
8 seconds.
Yeah, probably it's probably less than 5 miles as the crow flies.
Okay,
Gosh.
that's cool.
Yeah, I've gone up there. I've gone up. I haven't gone up there for GaryCon, but I have gone up there for a bunch of work stuff, and I always feel like for anybody who hasn't been there, at like 11:37, someone at the bar is like, this used to be the Playboy Club, right? Like it's
It
always
is.
some guy right around midnight.
It
That's
is.
awesome.
It's true, but so fantastic venue for us. We're really, really excited. This will be our first year there, but because they've been so super cool, we've already signed back up for 3 more years up
Oh
there.
wow.
So that's going to be our home for quite a while here at the Grand Geneva in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, which is fantastic because although we don't do a whole lot of role playing stuff, it's great to be in the birthplace of chainmail, which tactical studies rules. It's year 50 of that system,
Really,
and without that system, we wouldn't be doing the stuff that we're doing now, guys.
that's
We
true.
really, we really wouldn't. I'm gonna break in really quickly with just I'm doing something kind of interesting that I want to share with everybody. I
All
apologize.
right.
So I cannot find my oxide paint. So I've taken this Gauss Blaster Green, which is an edge paint, which is one of those like thick GW paints that you open and you think is bad, but really it's just a weird paint that you should never use. Um, and I've mixed it with the contrast medium for the contrast paints,
Yeah,
and it is like a fantastic oxide.
that's
Like
awesome.
just kind of like smear it on and then smear it off a little bit. Like it's getting in the grooves. It's great. So just
Hot
wanted to
tip.
share that. Hot tip. Hot tip. Also, apparently I'm obliged because Shivan said so. Mike, are you aware that in 1998, The Undertaker threw mankind off of hell into a cell onto the Spanish announcer's table?
You know, I used to be a big WWE fan, but I think I'm going to get back into it because there's a fantastic new show on Stars called Heels. Have you guys heard of this show?
I have. I
I
have.
am not.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
amazing. It's got the dude from Green Arrow, and
Right.
it's got Bjorn Ironside from Vikings.
Oh,
I never
awesome.
I never watched Vikings.
It was good in the early seasons, was better than the late, but
Same
so
thing
it's
with
got,
same thing with Arrow, funny enough.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, all CW shows jump the rails. If they're worth watching at the start, they just get worse and worse. So
Except for Legends of Tomorrow, which has remained terrible
that is
from
true. I was thought
from
you
the
were going to defend
beginning.
them.
Legends of
From
Tomorrow is not a good show.
I still watch it. I don't know what's wrong with me.
I know. I'm a DC fan, man. I want to try to give everything a chance, and I say that as I'm grading a lot of my books right now, guys. If I could do a panoramic shot, I'm like going through my comics
You're
and
not allowed to grade your own comics. You know that, right?
well, you know what I mean. I'm bagging and boarding them.
I swear to God, it's mid condition. I swear.
So it's interesting, but
Why
yeah,
why did you put it in a black bag, Mike? Why can't we see the comic? It's in mid condition, trust me.
no. Everything is a see-through bag. So, but like everything, all collectible stuff's going up, man. So it's time to maybe think about selling some of this crazy stuff that I've hoarded over the last 30 years of my life.
Yeah, I got some signed Frank Miller stuff,
Yeah.
and I almost Googled it, but then I was like, I don't want to Google it because I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
What series?
I have so when he was at C2E2, I want to say 4 years ago.
Okay.
Um, I went down into the main floor and spent like 2 grand, 3 grand on good quality of most of his major IP, and then brought them upstairs and got them signed.
So
So
like 300 Sin City.
yep, 300 Sin City, both some comics and the collector's edition book. And then I also got a alternate art, like custom art, Frank Miller Batman cover
Yeah,
that he drew
Nice.
on the spot.
Oh,
that's
nice.
cool. Well, I'll tell you what. Whatever you paid for it then, it is definitely worth more now.
Yeah,
It,
no, it was like, see, the thing is, like, I didn't even really want it. Like, Frank Miller was not my list. What I wanted was the 3-day badge,
yeah,
right? But it was sold out. and the only thing that was left was the Frank Miller, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll do that. Like, there's worse people to go see, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
Um,
That's funny.
but yeah,
Yeah. I'm hoping that show still happens this year. So I think it's December. Is it just, no, it's like February, isn't it, Aaron?
I think it's December. I think it's December. I didn't, you know what? I actually didn't buy tickets. I've gotten really disillusioned with C2E2. I was a huge fan for a super long time. I even got to sit on a couple panels a couple years, which was great.
Really?
When I did the Rangers movie, one of my friends, I was a producer for their podcast, and there was a
Yep.
panel on, like turning your passion projects into actual moneymakers, and
By the way, we had the U.S. premiere of the Ranger movie at
we
Dragon
we
2 years.
did we
Yeah.
did that's true.
Yeah.
I
Um,
remember.
and
Yeah.
two people dropped out, and so they called me.
Yeah.
uh, but like I feel like, I used to have a lot of fun, and I feel like they had a lot of space, and I feel like they got a little greedy, and they took they crammed too much stuff in, and not last year but the year before, it took me an hour and a half to get out because of the way they set it up.
Yeah.
And I had tried to bring my son, who was younger at the time, and it was a nightmare. It was a
By
real
default,
nightmare.
sons are usually younger, Aaron, unless there's something really weird going on there.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, like he was a young kid, like he was like 3 or something, 2 or 3,
Oh,
like
okay.
like
Yeah.
he,
So he's yeah. That's a challenging time to have a toddler going to a big trade
no,
show like.
but like the other years it was great, even when he was, even the year before.
Yeah.
And they got rid of, the kids section used to be a prominent area, and they turned it into the cosplay section, which is just
Yeah.
useless. Um, and then
That's a,
the
that,
kids
yeah.
section was just tables, and everybody at the con was like, "Oh, a place to sit down." And I was like, "Okay, well, you
Well,
know,
let's also walk back, and we don't have anything against cosplay. I know you're just saying that area was worthless because you're a
no, no,
big
no. Cosplay is awesome. The cosplay
Yeah.
area was
Yeah.
Yeah.
worthless.
I just wanted our listeners to
No,
understand.
no, no. You're talking to somebody who dressed as a space marine, who had the entire costume made out of birthday balloons. So,
Balloons, right? I remember that. That was fucking dope. I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to curse. That was awesome. But yeah, that's exactly
hey,
what I
this
thought.
this is YouTube. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
But
Potatoes are my favorite
We're
food.
gonna.
Dragonfall, on the other hand, is a
Yeah.
very well run, super fun show where sometimes they turn out all the lights and scare you and sing you happy birthday.
Yeah. It was when we were last together, Aaron, for sure. Yeah. It's a great time of year, and because of the way the different area hotels and venues do their space, unfortunately you have really two choices with a spring show or a fall show, because the rest of the summer they're doing weddings and other events, and so
Yep.
it's very, very difficult to even get a call back if you had, say, a July or August date for a gaming show. It's tough. So
You know what? I wanted to tell a really funny story real quick.
Do it.
Sure.
I don't know if you remember, but back in the day, there was a wedding that went on during Adepticon when it was in off of Butterfield Road.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys were there when that one happened, but it was blown away because I don't know if the other people knew that all of their guests would be walking through a giant gaming convention. And
Right.
apparently some of the GW guys went to the wedding and brought models to go on the cake and stuff.
That is so
Uh,
funny. I
That's-
but
remember I remember at Indie Storm, there was a bridge tournament going on, and the bridge tournament ended like 6 hours before Indie Storm, and then all of a sudden there was all these competitive bridge players who walked into a miniature tournament and were immediately enthralled, right? Because it was like two completely different generations of competitive gamers, like all of a sudden finding each other. It was a beautiful moment.
Yeah. No, there's crazy stuff that's happened for sure. But I think that was Adepticon 1, Josh.
that long ago?
Yeah.
Wow.
You guys are so old.
We ancient. Anyways, let's focus on the future.
Let's focus on how old we're gonna be tomorrow.
Yeah, let's focus on the future when we're older.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, sell us on Dragonfall. Why should we go?
So it's it's a charitable event, which is a pivot for us. We turned into a charity convention about 3 years ago.
Right.
And so we literally, by the way the corporation is run, or the 501(c) is run, so we have a mandate that $1 that we, as soon as we retire all the overhead for the show, $1 goes to charity. So we've supported great organizations like Child's Play, Extra Life, Feeding America, Doctors Without Borders, and really took that kind of approach, like I said, 3 years ago, and so we've raised like $15,000 in the last couple of years.
That's awesome.
Last year, even virtual, we had a pretty good raise that year, and so that's really why we get together. It's changed. It's become a pivot for us to the charity, and so you can come play your favorite miniature system and try to do some good at the same time.
I feel good about it.
And it's generally like a really fun, easygoing, like crowd of people who know that they're it's not all about the tournament win, in my opinion. Um, some of my favorite games have been played at Dragonfall, and they were a lot less
Yeah,
stressful. Is that fair? Is that fair to say?
yeah. Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because we got started 7 years ago, like I said, and the idea was, the first 40K tournament that we had was actually 40K friendly,
Yeah.
and so we just wanted to try to have something, if you remember the time frame, there was some, kind of win at all cost movement that was going through the scene. It just wasn't fun anymore.
Yeah.
And so we shot we shot across the bow early and said, hey, we're going to try to do something different. And we've always still done something a little bit different in terms of the overall flavor. And we're still a small show. So 2019, we had like 630-ish people. This year, we're shooting for like 350 or so. We've got lots of exciting things to
Hey,
do, though. Even
are
if
you
you just
are you still doing the computer gaming? Is that coming back?
no, that one's not coming back this year, but that was something that was intriguing to me, and we want to try to cross pollinate with that again. Um, but maybe 2022's show will have that. What?
I think you should also do more role playing. Personally, I love the one shots at conventions. That's like one of my new favorite activities, and I'm willing to pay good money to have a good DM.
Can I jump in on the RP stuff real fast if you don't mind, Aaron? And segue
I
us?
don't mind.
So we play Eve Online, uh, and I love it. It's like my favorite video game. It's basically the only video game that I play at this point. And I am on a mission to get my nullsec corp and whatever chunk of my nullsec block to go ahead and be basically role players in this game, to use Eve Online as role play, right? And it's really interesting how that pans out, right? Do you structure your corp with, a dictator at the top or a president, right? So the word that you use to refer to your person who leads like informs all this stuff below it, right? So it's really, really interesting. I don't know what it looks like, but I am very, very excited about my influence on that situation, because I have a couple other very like-minded people in the corp who are like, we do this for fun. We only want to do this for fun. There's no reason to do this if we're not having fun, and
Right.
who will slot directly into role playing and be like, I am whatever it is for this group, and this is how we're going to
Yeah,
interact. So a nice background, right? It provides that environment. um, so I am also super excited for the one-offs. I have not done anywhere near enough of those, but I think that it is one of the great advantages to having a con, right? You put a bunch of like-minded people together, you give them some sort of format, and you have people who would have otherwise never communicated with each other around this. How do I be someone else, right? And not in a fake, like, oh, I want to steal your money type way,
sure.
um, but in a healthy, like, enjoyable way. um, and you're making that possible for people from Florida to interact with people in Chicago, and people from Canada to interact with people from the United States, those kind of things on a personal level, and develop those connections, and hopefully, ideally, build friendships and relationships that are far, far more valuable to them than, like you said, the win at all cost fight for 2 hours with someone on a table that you just want to forget, whether you won or not.
Yeah, we actually do have some role playing stuff at Dragonfall. So we have the organized play for Pathfinder.
Oh, nice.
So we have some of those modules that are available. The D&D organized play is a tough animal to crack, but we continue to try to joust at that windmill, and hopefully soon we'll have that at Dragonfall. Playing D&D in Lake Geneva just
that's like
doesn't get any better than that.
You
Right.
can't roll anything but nat 20s. It's something with like it's.
So you're saying it's magical, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
love it.
pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And the thing that's great about it now is I don't want to say they've reopened, but if you want to go and check out where the old TSR was and do all that kind of stuff in town, you can still do that now.
Really? Is that it? Is that actually from Lake Geneva?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
really.
yeah, it is. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's the birthplace of D&D.
Yeah.
I knew it was in Wisconsin. I thought it was in Milwaukee or something.
You can drive by Gary's house, man.
Huh.
On Main Street right there.
That is awesome.
And
How was I there and not know?
When I went up there for a work convention, I was all excited about it, and I was trying to explain it to people, and they were like,
yeah, I think they've embraced it a little bit. If you go down to the lake area where there's that pavilion, after Gary passed, the fans put like a small memorial brick in that area, and just being in touch with the Chamber of Commerce up there, they understand what they're sitting on. And
they should by now they should understand.
Yeah. So it's been like we said, it's been 50 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of history there. And the thing that's really cool is a lot of those legacy TSR guys still live in town.
Huh.
That's cool.
Yeah. So a lot of the artists are up there. Some of the original guys that were part of it are still up there. When it was very much, when I was a kid and started playing D&D, I just had this interesting, fantasy that the gaming industry was this, Fortune 500,
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
And now the great news is it is.
Yeah.
Games Workshop is, I think, like 3.5 billion market cap company now. I was just reading the article because I follow Peter Atkinson on Facebook, and he had reposted when Wizards had been sold to Hasbro. And by the way, that number, just out of curiosity, was 350 million that it was sold for. So yeah. It is a multi-million-dollar industry now, but it wasn't that way when I was a kid. And so it's just so funny when you think of that time frame, specifically FASA here in Chicago. We got to know the FASA guys through Gen Con.
Wait, FASA's from Chicago?
FASA's from Chicago, man.
How do I not know any of this history?
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm shocked. You know everything.
So and we got to know the FASA guys really, really well, to the point where we were invited to the headquarters one day, and you literally walk inside FASA, and this is the height of BattleTech. It's like the early 90s.
BattleTech was the first miniature game I played.
Yeah,
me too.
But you walk in the FASA office, and it's literally like 3 cubicles, and they have warehouse. And I'm like, wow. And these guys are, BattleTech is a thing. You know what I mean? Every gamer has played it. It was D&D, BattleTech, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's just a very shocking situation when I walked in there and had my dreams crushed, thinking about how massive the gaming industry was.
Like, this is where Shadowrun comes from?
Yeah, Shadowrun.
A cubicle?
For sure. That was actually, it was first edition Shadowrun, that time frame.
Yep. Yep.
That's why we were there.
L5R, Magic the Gathering, Shadowrun, BattleTech.
Yep.
I was young.
This-
But I was in the game store. I was too old for Pokemon,
No one's too old for Pokemon.
which I regret because
You were too old.
I have all my Magic cards from then, and I would have had a full set of Pokemon. But I was like, this is for stupid children, and now I'm like, well, I guess I'm stuck with a dumb adult 401k instead of a complete binder sealed mint condition Pokemon
That would
set.
be worth some coin now, man. For sure.
Yeah, too bad you like skateboarding.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, rollerblading. I bought rollerblades
Oh,
instead of alpha magic cards. My brother, I think I've told this story before, but I don't know if I told it to you,
you
Mike.
have.
So my brother was 16 years older than me, and he won a skateboard on like a radio contest, and I took it out and I was skateboarding on it. And he got really mad. He was like, "This is for hanging on the wall," um, and I'm like, "Okay." So he's like, "I'll take you to the store." So we go to the mall and we're walking by like Spencer's or something, and there's a dude standing and goes, "There's a new game. It's called Magic the Gathering. If you buy it right now, you'll get all of the first set of cards."
Hmm.
And I was like, that seems kind of cool. We played a demo game, and I was like, I really want my skateboard. So we went to the sports store, and I bought rollerblades. And then fast forward to like fourth edition, and I'm obsessed with Magic, right? Like,
Yeah.
You could have had it all.
could have had it all. Could have had all the Magic cards
Well, I had
and all the
Power 9
Pokemon
back in
cards.
the day.
Well, there you
Well,
go.
I mean, you hear the stories. I know guys that have helped me through the years as volunteers at Dragonfall, that would say, yeah, I've sold all my magic cards, bought a house with the money. I mean, and it's just the most interesting thing that I found, again, just kind of being dialed into this is the number of Black Lotuses in the beta edition.
Right.
Like we didn't have an idea, and now we have a pretty good idea that it's between 1400 and 1600. That's it.
Yeah.
And so
When are we
you,
gonna be able to sell all our miniatures and buy a house? That's the question.
Not gonna happen.
I
Not
think,
gonna happen.
That's the question.
No, I mean I bought a Black Lotus for $50 at one point.
Yep.
And it was unlimited, perfect condition. I ended up selling it like the next day for $250. But
no,
man,
you thought you were doing well at the time.
I made a 5 times profit in one day. Man, if I would have known.
If we all just would have bought Bitcoin and Black Lotuses and Charizards.
Can you imagine that guy who bought Bitcoin? I mean, sold Bitcoin to get that pizza? Like,
No,
man.
Well, apparently I have 2 cups now for rinsing my brushes instead of 1 cup of water and 1 cup of rinse water. Oops.
All right, Mike. So what events are you guys having right now?
Well, actually, talking about painting, we're really excited. We have the in-person Brush Beast competition. So if you guys remember, over the winter time, they did the virtual convention. The virtual competition for Brush Beast.
Yeah.
So we're going to be the home of the in-person Brush Beast.
Oh, nice.
Which is kind of cool. And I don't think we'll be, Crystal Brush or Golden Demon charging yet, but it's a great organization. And
Well, Crystal Brush is dead, isn't it?
I don't know. I since Adepticon pivoted back to having the Golden Demon, I
think Crystal Brush went away.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me. So that's tough when you're giving away that amount of money. I don't know. Don't understand how that ROI worked for them, but
yeah.
So, but yeah, so there's lots to do. And then the other thing that we've kind of rebranded, if you will, is we're calling ourselves a charity gaming festival. So there's other things to do, like we have a retro video game lounge that guys with weekend badges can play retro games, between matches and stuff like that. We have our collectible beer and soda mug that you can get refilled all weekend, and then during happy hour get some free beer fill-ups for that. We have some great special guests that are going to be there. So Uncle Adam from Tabletop Minions is going to be there
All right.
as kind of our special guest of honor, which is really cool. And yeah, we're just looking to try to, hang out over the weekend. It'll be great to see everybody. We haven't seen everybody in 2 years now.
Dude, I haven't seen
Uh,
Uncle Adam since the bunker opening.
Bunker opening. No, we saw him at whatchamacallit, Valhalla like 4 or 5 years
No,
ago.
he didn't go. He didn't go.
He went the 1 year. I was there
No,
with
no.
him one.
Yeah, but that was before the bunker opened. I'm pretty sure.
This I don't know, whatever. It doesn't matter. So you got some guests, and so why festival instead of
Well, eventually, it's tough to do right now, but we want to have crazy stuff going on, like axe throwing competitions, like escape rooms, crazy stuff where literally you just have a lot more to do than just sitting at a table all weekend if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, and
That's
So,
cool.
I think that's a great idea. Because I've done I do a lot of conventions, and some of the more memorable things from some of the other conventions that I've done is um it was a choreographed LARP,
yeah,
where you had to go through like 5 rooms. And the really funny thing was, at the first room, like the way that they leveled up the difficulty of each room is that you started out fighting children, and at the end you had to fight adults, but none of the adults wanted to hit children at the beginning, so like everybody died. So that was a really bad strategy. But like those sorts of like diversions are
yeah. I mean,
crazy.
like the Living Dungeon. Have you guys seen that at Gen Con where they have the living?
Yeah.
You immerse yourself in kind of that LARP experience that Adam's talking about. We'd love to do stuff like that eventually. You
Or
just got to,
Like Artemis at
yeah,
Adepticon. Yeah.
for sure. Artemis is super cool. And there's an event that happens where I play Artemis the whole weekend at Polar Vortex because they have Artemis.
That's awesome.
It's a great show as well. But yeah, so the idea is just to be able to kind of, if your thing is, playing 5 games of 40K or 5 games of Age of Sigmar, then you can of course do that. But if you just want to get together, hang out, paint some miniatures, maybe do one slot of a role-playing game, and then, play some retro video games, that is, then Dragonfall is the place for you.
And when you bring back those sweet video gamers, you could do an event where it's like lose to a professional video gamer. I played against Fatality, who was like one of the first big video game stars, and it was like you'd pay $20, you'd wait in line, you'd go up, you'd spawn in, he'd shoot you in the head, and then you played a game against Fatality.
Yeah, yeah. Sounds
I
sounds
like it.
yeah. So but yeah, there's and we're still, like I said, we're still a small show where we have the flexibility to try some of these crazy things out, because we always have kind of like a science project wing going on at Dragonfall with new things that we're trying for the first time. So experimentation is the only way to see if something works. And right now, with the popularity of just gaming overall, I think you're going to continue to see, different crossover things that are happening, just because, like Mr. Shizzle was saying, everybody, has, they're painting these models, and they're playing a video game. I was just playing Battlefield 5 before I jumped on with you guys. My daughter and I would play different games online together. Everybody's a video gamer. That's a tabletop gamer for sure. So
Awesome.
yeah.
So what are you doing for TikTok? You got Dragonfall TikTok going on?
We're a little bit old school, so we have Instagram, we have Facebook, but that's pretty much it. No, you know what? We have Twitter.
You
But
gotta
no,
you gotta get on that TikTok, man. You gotta get
TikTok,
on it.
I think it's a different age demographic that we have, but maybe, I don't know. If somebody wants to volunteer who's a TikTok master and, become one of our champions of social media, I would welcome it.
Josh is a TikTok master.
Oh yeah, I'm TikTok master. I don't even have a TikTok account.
Uh,
I just watch Aaron's TikToks that he puts up.
Same.
So what when's the weekend? How can people sign up?
Yeah,
Stuff like that.
it's literally just over 30 days from now. So it's October 23rd and 24th. And you just go to dragon-fall.com and you can see all the different events that we have in tabletop events. Everything's kind of laid out for you there. So there's still, I think, a couple slots left for 40K Champs event and for AOS, which is going to be very large. I think we have over 60 players for
Nice.
Age of Sigmar, which is fantastic. And there's some other things there too, like bolt action. There is the 40K friendly. There's lots to do, but it's just a little bit more laid back, like what Aaron was talking about. You're not. We have great trophies that people are competing for, but
let me tell you, if somebody said you have to pay to go to Dragonfall or I give you free C2E2 tickets, I will pay to go to Dragonfall.
yeah, well, I appreciate that.
Like
Endorsement?
I am so over the hey, let's pack as many people into this place as possible and sell them as much stuff as we possibly can, as
Yeah.
opposed to create a fun, entertaining, experience
For a good
Well,
cause.
it's
for a good cause.
Yeah, it's a great point too, because when you guys were there, our last show, 2019, I think we had like maybe 12 or 14 vendors. We've really pared that back this year, and we have 4. So, and these are guys that we've known for years. So we have Elric Studios, Mini Masterworks, Warlord, which is going to be up there, and of course, Todd from Broadnard is our FLGS sponsor, so he's going to be up there with all of his stuff. And we decided to kind of go slim this year because, it just makes too much sense. We're not a big show, and we want the vendors that we do have to be very successful with being able to sell their wares. And so it turns into a win-win for everybody for the weekend.
Sure.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I enjoy the specialty vendors where you can buy like cool dice boxes and stuff that you normally wouldn't be able to find. I'm not opposed to vendors. I think part of a good show is having some nice vendors. I'm just right now in my mindset and my personality, I prefer the sort of show that you put on over the sort of show where they just cram as many people into McCormick Place as possible.
Yeah. Well, it's a totally different animal. So I don't know the attendance for C2E2, but it's tens of thousands of people, and we're a couple hundred people. So so big gap there. But yeah, I feel the same way. It's I pretty much know I'm in a unique situation where over the years that we've done it, I know virtually everybody who steps through the door. I might not know them on a personal friendship level, but they by default, we have an incredibly high return of people who come back.
You might not have all of their speakers, but
yes, we did. Soundbar that I kept in the cave. So I was happy to get that back to you. I'm sorry about that.
no, enjoy the sound bar.
So I have a nice round set up now in the media room, which is just. But yeah, so that's a big pivot too, man, because there's literally, you touch some of this stuff and you might not, I think our storage unit hadn't seen daylight in like 18 months until a couple of weeks ago.
Hey,
Wow.
by the way, what are you doing for terrain? So I know like last year, friend of the show and former host, Aaron T, was going to be doing a bunch of the terrain, and I was going to help him out. Did you guys get that figured out this year?
Yeah, we have a good mix. So we have more than enough terrain for our events. And the thing that's great is that a lot of our judges have just a ton of terrain. So like our AOS judge Mark, he has like 30 tables of terrain. himself. So it really works out.
Don't you aren't wargamers the best?
I
Aren't
mean,
we just like the greatest species of human?
I mean,
We were
you know,
Orders.
30
kind
tables
of.
of Age of Sigmar terrain. I mean, so of course, we're going to help him with some of our hills and some of our scattered terrain and stuff that we have. But it's wonderful to get a champion like that who runs the event for you, because then you know you don't have to worry so much about the net new terrain build. You
Hey,
know,
what is your policy on army paint levels?
yeah, it has to be at least 3 color. Has to be. And
You hear
so
that, Josh?
I heard it.
one of the cool things too is just for showing up if you're in one of our actual tournaments. So your army or depending on infinity could be the squad level. Your troops will be entered into a category of the brush beast for just showing up. So for best army or for best squad if it's a smaller miniature system.
Nice.
We're looking forward to that. It'll be so there's an incentive to answer your question, Aaron. There's an incentive for people to,
I mean in general, like I think that's awesome to add the incentive. I just think in general it's nice to show up someplace and know that you're going to be playing on nice terrain with fully painted armies.
yeah,
It's like you can go to your game store every weekend, um, but how often do you play against gray plastic? Well, if you're playing Sean's Tau, they're painted gray, then it seems
Or
always.
if you're playing Sean's APOC, there's 20 people, everybody with 4,000 points, so you're still fighting gray.
Yeah. So it's nice. It's nice to know that it's one of those events that you can go to and you can expect to have that level of
beautiful.
realism and beauty
Yeah,
available.
absolutely. No, we get the guys. I mean, so we
Shivan,
haven't.
your armies are gorgeous. Come on.
They are.
Of course, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are very lucky that we have a lot of the crossover guys. And Jason Lippard's running our 40K event. He's the head judge for 40K at Adepticon. We have a lot of the crossover guys that do both Adepticon and Dragonfall. So we definitely know there's a talent, here locally. And
Adepticon. What's that? No, I'm just kidding.
and a lot of those guys show up to play at our event, which is just great. And there was Brian Carlson brought uh, an all corn list a couple of years ago that was just absolutely. I mean, there's pictures of it on the Dragonfall Facebook page, but just an unbelievably. And if you know Brian's armies, he is top
It's
notch.
ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
So it'll be great just to it's one of those things where
He has no problem getting rid of the Bogart, right? That was a Harry Potter joke.
oh,
Went over our head.
Okay.
I think
Way
Yeah.
over.
I'm excited that all of them are on HBO Max though now, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see that? That's
That-
pretty.
I've only I like number 4. I feel like it goes like from like PG to R. I know it's not technically R.
Yeah.
But number 4 is intense, and I have a 6-year-old, so
Yeah.
we're stuck in the loop of 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I think that.
And he
I think-
keeps wanting to know when we're gonna watch number 4, and it's like I don't have a good answer for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I don't know when we're gonna watch number 4.
Yeah, you could probably.
Escalated that to my engineers. Just wait. Just be patient.
Yeah, you could probably introduce them to the books, but to your point, the movies are a different animal altogether.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and what happened is my sister, who's younger than me, was reading the books and was really into it, right? And they went from that sort of PG level to PG-13 level, and she wasn't 13 yet, and that 4th movie like traumatized her in the theater. Because like
Oh.
obviously we were gonna take her, we weren't gonna say no, right? Because it was like we had gone to all the movies, she was obsessed with it, and they made that jump, and that 4th movie things get serious. Things get a
Well,
little bit more serious.
the second movie with the spiders, man, that's not like So
Yeah,
that
no, that's
that's
true.
that's
But
like so. That's the first movie that my son actually went to, and he was literally, so he's a freshman now at Northern University, Northern Illinois,
Nice.
and he was literally weeks old, and that was his first movie that we watched.
Really? That's awesome.
My dad, I demanded that I go see Jurassic Park. Demanded. And he took me, and I was in his lap crying in the first 5 minutes.
I mean, that Velociraptor scene at the very
Oh, dude,
beginning was kind of.
It was rough. That was a rough scene for like a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
Hey, Josh.
Thinking,
Hey, yeah.
How do the Gauss blaster's just black?
Yeah.
What do I
You want to
brush
know what
it?
I would do?
Yeah.
You want an idea?
Yeah.
All right.
What would you do?
I would sponge on silver
Mm-hmm.
and then do a wash.
Okay, so that's what okay. I was gonna dry brush it gray.
Yeah, I mean, the model has metallic on it though, right?
Well, yeah, I painted a bunch of stuff metallic, like I added metal to
Yeah.
it. But now I'm just saying for the black, I guess
I would sponge it.
Man,
We wanted to talk about the Gen Con drops, right, guys?
Yeah, we could talk about the Gen Con drops if we have to.
Just FYI, we've got about 14 minutes, so just.
Yeah.
But they,
this is gonna make Sean so happy. I mean, an entire Black Templar army with no helmets.
oh, bro. Oh, my God. And the rest of the models are great. So now I'm in the place of, do I want to buy this, right? Because robes and stuff fit fantastically with the First Legion. But do I have enough Primaris helmets to cover it all? And the answer is yes, of course I do. But yeah, I little disappointed there.
This is the no helmet update, right? This is the no helmet update. Essentially, is what's going on. So we got Black Templars came out. We also got the Joy Toy Marines, but these do have helmets, so that's fine. That's okay.
Well, look at their mounts on the helmets though. They look like screaming ducks to me.
It's something about those infiltrators being that scale.
They look like screaming ducks. Is that
Yeah,
the word?
like their mouth is just not right.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, there's something with the
it looks like they're going. What else do we got?
It's not bad. They're the exact same thing as the smaller ones.
It's
just something about the scale being bigger.
I'm sorry I opened it twice. We got Warcry. We're not gonna watch the video for Warcry, are we? I don't want to watch it.
Well, then no, Aaron, we're not gonna watch it.
Oh, thank God.
Is it Warcry or is it that other game, Underworlds?
No, I'm definitely reading something that starts with the letter W. I know I get a lot of things wrong, but staring at a word, I generally 50-50 get that right.
I would still double check.
We do have the Underworlds stuff, which again, like I think Underworlds looks really cool. I just have never.
It's not good. Well, I don't like it.
Played it.
How do you really feel?
I bought like everything. I was like, this game's gonna be awesome, and then I played it, and I was like, this game is terrible. It's because I feel it's a card game with miniatures, and that's not what I wanted. And I feel so constrained by the cards. It just wasn't fun for me personally.
Let's just get to the meat. Let's get to the meat of the matter.
Yeah, there was no way for you to min max that system, Josh.
Listen, Josh doesn't min max anymore. Josh has gone through a 5-step program. I was his sponsor, and he no longer min maxes.
Okay, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, you should wait before you believe it.
I don't know how Shivan. I don't know how old I actually was when Jurassic Park came out. Somebody could look it up and I could tell you how old I was, but I was young and it scared me. Let's get to the real meat of the matter. The Tau. Sean, have you seen the Tau? Have you seen the Tau model?
I have, and I am really, really happy with the sculpts. My problem is, that's not the box I want to buy. I have lately felt even more so, right? Because you know that I'm all right with buying Be'lakor for $150.
Right.
But these new kits and this propensity of, hey, we're not gonna release miniatures for you to buy as miniatures. We're going to release kill team kits, and there's going to be 5 really awesome dudes for your army, and 5 really awesome dudes for another army you're not going to play, and 5 pieces of terrain that you might not need, and then 5 little books. But instead of paying $50 for the 10 guys that I actually want, I'm paying $150 for 5 guys I want and a bunch of other stuff I got to trade to someone. I'm kind of getting tired of that paradigm. Like it's cool, but now I need a box with those Pathfinders in it, so I can buy just those.
But no,
Pathfinders.
but
Literally, the only thing that's different is like their heads are for some reason bare.
I think they
Well,
look
and,
awesome.
but that goes back to the point of me being willing to spend money on stupid shit because it looks a little bit different. I am happy to do that. I am okay with that. Give it to me. I want every single one of my little infantry guys to be different and unique and awesome. And you made, what was it, 8, 10 super awesome Krieg guys, and now I've got to spend, $1,500 to get enough to be my basic infantry.
Right.
Well, they'll release them separately eventually.
Will they? Will they? Because
Yeah.
we still haven't seen the Chaos Renegade guys from the Blackstone Fortress.
Well, this is not Blackstone Fortress.
I haven't seen any of the models from any of the Kill Team boxes released separately. And I could be wrong about that if there was something in an army that I did not see, but as far as I'm aware, that has not happened yet, right? That is my hope. That's what I want. But I expect that they're going to release another Kill Team box.
Dude, dry brushing this gray was the right call.
So I just, I really want to like it. I really, really, really want to like it. I really, really, really want to play the game.
Okay, let's just talk. Okay, let's not talk about their sales tactics because that clearly we got
the models themselves. I am okay with. I would cut their heads off. I would put Pathfinder heads on them.
You cut their heads off. Their heads are my favorite part. The heads are my favorite part.
There's no point in buying them if you're cutting their heads off.
The poses are a little bit different, and I am happy to pay for that.
Mike,
what's
happening in our world?
I haven't seen them, so I saw the new Khorne Blood Bowl team. Those guys look
yeah.
good. And I saw the Templars, but I haven't seen the Tau.
Can you just agree with me, please? It doesn't matter. We don't.
What was your standpoint, Eric?
It's live, but I can edit it in post, so I can just cut that part out, and I just need somebody to agree with me that they look awesome.
I just would like to point out that Sean agrees with that the bear heads are stupid.
No, yeah, of course, he's cutting their heads off, obviously, yeah.
Well, and for the Templar, that box. That box, I would buy that box to chop up. And those scouts, I love the scouts. New scouts, that's super awesome, right? They don't fill the same place because they don't, cover your minimum troops. But I still like them. They still have some extra, deployment and flexibility. They're probably going to be cheaper. They're almost as tough. Classically, they've just been one less armor save, otherwise the exact same thing. So getting those Primaris scale, even if they don't change the stat line, I think is super, super awesome. And I would still, just like I did with scouts, I would change those heads. So I would, but again,
what about the sisters? What about the sisters with a cowl?
The sisters are different, and I actually picked up a box of sisters because I'm trying to diversify smaller armies as opposed to building, 20,000 points of large armies at this point.
Okay, but
so I have a box, and I need to put them together to see exactly how I feel.
The new sisters with the double whippy lady.
Oh, you know what? I don't know if I've seen the new sisters release stuff. I thought you were
so
just
the new sisters have cowls instead of helmets.
All right, well I'm gonna get on Google.
And guess what? They're in the box with that Tau, so it sounds like that box is perfect for you because it's sisters and Tau.
And it might be. Okay, so yeah, I didn't even look at the sisters because there were Tau in there.
Okay, guys, I'm going to interrupt because we've got about 5 minutes. I just sent the thing in our group chat so Sean can look at their habited covered heads.
Habit. That's what it's called.
Habit, yeah. So we need to wrap up. Let's check in for all of our hobbying, and then we'll talk a little bit more about Dragonfall before we're out, so people get all the deets.
Yeah, I'm actually like about to put guns in these guys' hands. I was buying a little bit more time so I could finish both these models.
You want me to go first?
So why don't you go first? Give me a little bit more time.
All right. I got 10 bases like thisly. They're all drying, so I have to wait to put the texture paint on, but got them ready. Got my little copper rod here for the feet. I got them all ready, so
Oh,
I'm good.
that reminds me, Josh. I need to
Yep.
bring you my bag of pebbles
Yeah,
that are the right scale. They're terrible scale for 32 millimeter, but amazing scale for 7 inch.
sounds great.
Sean.
Well, I have found out that the Berserker axes that I have acquired are really, really brittle and the wrong hand. So I need to go back and determine. I swore that I bought right-handed, but obviously I didn't. Um, so yeah, I've got some things I got to work out. I can definitely get them put together, but it is going to be a little bit of drilling for everyone if I decide to stick with them. But it is
Why
what it is.
why is it so hard to put this gun in this guy's hand?
Because man, it's not GW manufactured and sanctioned with the little C thing on it, or the TM. But I looked at the sisters. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of
Ugh.
the Hudo what right.
They're Uggo.
They remind me of so High Marshal Helbrecht.
Yeah, they're
Everybody knows
definitely
High.
Mordheim models in 40K.
Yeah,
No,
they're very
that's
like
a fair
old
argument.
school.
No, that's a fair argument.
And not that that's bad, but that's not my aesthetic. That's not my power armor space marine 40,000 years in the future sci-fi aesthetic, right?
It
You want
started
to
out
put
that
that
way.
Aventail thingy on top of a space marine helmet? Now we can talk, right?
Emperor's Champion is a stud though.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and everybody gave him a ton of just, oh, this model is garbage, and it's like, no, not really. This is actually a really solid model. He's in a
Yeah.
different pose. He's doing some stuff. He's very clearly not swinging a sword at you, but like praising the God Emperor who's about to give him power to smite all the chaos. And that's one of those RP aspects that I love, right?
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I'm down. But his
I have the original Templars. It's one of those armies that I have to dig out that I was telling you guys about. So I have it from, I think it was like 2001 if memory serves.
Wow.
I have all the box set back then when they first introduced the Crusader, the Land Raider Crusader.
The Land Raider, yep.
Where this thing is like a tank. I mean, well, it is literally a tank, but it was a hybrid kit where it was pewter with all of those hurricane bolters and the plastic. It was kind of an interesting build back in the day, if you can remember what those hybrid kits looked like. It was fascinating.
Yeah, the land speeders are the big ones
Right.
that I remember.
Yeah,
being
no, I think I have 3 or 4 of them. Yeah.
the metal assault cannons and stuff.
Yeah.
But people love their Black Templar, right? Never played them, but I have appreciation for them. They did, they had Land Raider doors and Rhino doors and specialty Terminator shoulder pads. I feel like before a lot of other armies had them.
Yeah, for sure.
They're just such a cool army and people love them, and that's what I want. I want GW to come out and be like, hey, if you play the Sons of Rin, here's a bunch of bits for you, right? The Crimson Fists. Here's all the things you could ever want for your super cool specialty army.
All right.
And I know that that's not reasonable, but
I got it. I got 2 Necron warriors painted, guns in hand. I think they look awesome. I'm really big fan of this, just retouching, like repainting the pre-painted McFarlanes. I think these are going to look great. That leaves me with 8 more to do, which of course will be in our actual YouTube video for getting ready for our giant kill team. Josh, of course, is going to be putting together a tutorial on making giant bases. I'm sure everybody needs to know how to do that.
They look good, man.
And of course, let me fade it on over. Dragonfall 2021. You can sign up. I'm going to put the link in our chat if you would like to go. It's right around the corner, October 23rd, in Lake Geneva at the Grand Geneva Hotel. So if you want to check that out, you should. Are you going to have, just out of curiosity, are you going to have any online auctions or any virtual ways of participating, or is it only in person?
Yeah, at this point in time, it's a great question. So we did have a virtual auction 2 years ago. We need to assess in the next 2 weeks or so whether we have enough material to do a virtual versus in person. Well, for sure, the primary mechanism that we have to raise money for charity is the auction. So that's huge for us. We have a lot of great stuff. The question is if we're going to put any of it virtually, and at this point in time, the answer is no.
But if you were, then you would definitely put it on dragon-fall.com.
Correct.
All
Yes.
right.
We would
So-
blast it for everybody.
So
Yep.
go ahead, go over to dragon-fall.com, sign up for the newsletter, or just click the link in the chat below if you want to learn more about Dragonfall. Mike, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Yeah, great seeing you guys.
And look forward to seeing you soon. As always, this has been Aaron, Josh, and Mike from CGN, and we'll
Sean.
see you. Sean's still here?
Of course he is.
I did that to you last week, Josh, didn't I? I
Yeah.
left Josh out last week. I left Sean out this week. I'm bad at my
So
job.
next week you got to leave yourself out.
Fair enough.
With that,
as always, we'll see you on the
Table.
table.
Cool.
Bye, guys.